In this video, we're going to look at how we can combine Excel functions to get even more power and solve those more complicated problems. In the last example, we used a mid function to extract the first letter of the location. Zara really needs the full name though. The only problem is that Sydney is 6 letters and Melbourne is 9 letters, so she can't just type a 6 or a 9 in here. She needs Excel to calculate that length for her. The good news is that Excel is very good at working with patterns, so as long as there's a pattern in the data, it can probably help. If you had data that was all lowercase Mickey Mouse, although our brains could immediately split that, there is no pattern, it's all lowercase, Excel can't help us. But with our customer purchase order, there are a couple of fairly obvious patterns. You'll notice, for example, that the location always has 3 characters before it and always has a hyphen after it. So if we can just locate the position of the hyphen, we can work out how long our location is. And this is exactly what we're going to do using Excel's find function. I'm going to start by doing the find on its own, and we'll just borrow the type column for this. So in P2, we're going to type equals FIN and tab. What the find does is find a string within another string and return the position at which it starts. By default, it will return the first instance it finds, but we'll see that we can specify a start position. So the first thing it wants to know is the string or the text you're looking for. And in this situation, it's our hyphen. So open double quotes, hyphen, close double quotes, and now type a comma. The second thing it wants to know is where we're searching for this hyphen, and we're looking for it in our customer PO. And type a comma. The last argument has square brackets, and that means it's optional, which means in certain circumstances we don't have to supply it. If we were quite happy for Excel to find the first hyphen, we could leave it off. But we don't want the first hyphen, we want the second. So we need to specify that it starts from position 4 or somewhere after the first hyphen. So that's our find, and if I press enter, it's told me it found the second hyphen at position 10. That's great. The problem is I don't actually want to extract 10 characters. I only want to extract 6. I need to account for the fact that there are 3 characters before Sydney and the hyphen after. That's all being included in that calculation. So I need to subtract 4 to get back to my actual location length, which is 6. So coming back into P2, I'm going to double click and I'm going to type -4 outside the brackets and press enter. And there's my 6. Now that I've done that, I could go and retype it into my mid, but I don't need to. I can just copy paste. So I'm going to select everything from find to the end of the -4, but don't include the equals, and Control C to copy. Now press escape so you don't accidentally mess up your formula, and double click back into O2. Where we had our 1 previously, we're going to remove that, and we're going to paste in our find. Control V to paste. And now press enter. There's Sydney, and if I double click to copy down, there's all my Melbournes. So that was how we could use the find. But the find does kind of rely on us having some form of delimiter, and we don't always have that luxury. What about if there were no hyphens in this example? Well, actually, there is another pattern as well. The location is always preceded by 3 characters and has 7 after. So, in other words, the total length of the string is always going to be 10 plus my location. If I get the total length of the string and subtract 10, that will tell me how long my location name is. And there's a function that can help us with this. It's called the len function, which is an abbreviation of length. Let's see how it works. So clicking back into P2, I'm going to type equals LEN and tab to open my brackets. And then I'm going to click on my purchase order number and press enter. And as we would expect, the total length is 16. Now we need to subtract the 10 characters that are not our location. So I'm just going to type -10, and we're back to our 6. Brilliant. Let's finish that off by putting our mid function in. So just after the equals, I'm going to type MID and tab. The text I'm trying to chop up is G2. I need to start at position 4 and a comma, and that's how many characters I need to extract. But now we have more than one set of brackets. We must remember to close our bracket for our mid. Tip to the wise, make sure your last bracket is black. When I press enter, there's Sydney, and if I copy down, there are my locations. So 2 great solutions to this problem, one using find, one using len. The important takeaway, though, is to see how we can actually combine Excel functions to get even more power and solve those more complicated problems.